There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits, or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.
Looking at CloudTrader 1 GBP CHF, we are in floating profit 1.39%. 6.48% in floating drawdown on NZD CAD. We are in some great swing trades on NZD CAD. We can see that they are finally starting to swing. And then we also have some hedges now open to play it back down. So what we'll see happen is these buys will run their way to their take profit, and then the sells at that point will also start running back down to their take profit level here. So very exciting to take a look at that and see, you know, how we can play both sides of the market sometimes in volatility. And GBP CHF, I want to make an important note. This is the first time, all right, I'm going to say this again, the first time GBP CHF has taken a trade since we started this account. The first time. This is the first trade. So let's go over here to CloudTrader 2 and keep going through the pairs. Ignore that, that's a demo. All right, here we go. USD JPY, we got no trades this week, no weekly profit. We aren't in the trades. Coming down here and looking at AUD JPY, we can see that there are 3 ghost gears open, but there are no live trades on AUD JPY. AUD CHF, we are in floating profit on this data account here. We can see right now we are in floating 1% and swinging on this account. Coming over here to AUD NZD, we are in 7% floating drawdown. All right. It also would help if we were on the right time frame here on this one. No worries. That's why we are in a seems we had zoomed out on a lower time frame, which creates possibly a little more risk, a little more hedging, I should say, where it does both buys and sells. But we can see we are in the positions on AUD NZD. Let's connect here to CloudTrader 3, and we're just going to keep going through each VPS one by one, taking a look at every pair. So results on the data accounts, CAD JPY. You can see we have no float and profit happening, no open trades. CHF JPY, that account, as we know, is on the worst performers pair a long time, so we're not even running it. CAD CHF, you can see we have nothing going on here. USD CHF, we have 10% now floating loss and drawdown. As we know, CHF pairs are not ideal or recommended. They are now worst performers. AUD USD, we have nothing going on here. Coming to look into Euro AUD here, we have no trades open, no floating profit on the week. Euro JPY has swung back after taking some major stop losses and being added to the worst performers list. It has swung back on a little $200 account for 8% on the week. It has taken some losses, so again, not advisable to run JPY pairs, EuroCAD, or CHF pairs. Everything else pretty good. EuroCAD, as we see, is still in drawdown even after taking some losses a long time ago. Got back in some sequences. Euro CHF, as we can see, We have nothing going on there. Euro USD, we can see that this account, a little $500 account. Oh, it didn't actually lose money. It seems I accidentally withdrew money from this. We're fine. That's not a loss anywhere. That is just a withdrawal. So I actually need to put money back into this account. So ignore the weekly floating. Euro USD is fine and did not take any losses here. Seems I just withdrew money from the wrong account. Not sure how I did that, but we will have to fix that. Okay, AUD USD, nothing going on here. USD CHF, we are in 10% negative floating. As we know, again, we're avoiding these. I think we're going backwards. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to CloudTrader 5. GBP CAD, nothing going on here. You're pretty close though. We're on a sell 5, but the market started swinging. So, unfortunately, you see we would have taken that trade right there and swung, but seems we actually did take it. Believe comments. Yeah, we actually did take that trade. That was the trade that we took. Yep, on May 5th. So we took this trade and actually smacked take profit on it in the last week. And it seems that we were pretty close to taking another trade and it started to swing again, probably right around here somewhere. We got pretty close, but look at that sniper. We got pretty close, but look at that sniper entry on the chart. GBP, nice. All right, GBP JPY, nothing on the week here. GBP NZD, we got nothing on the week. And GBP USD, we have nothing on the week. We can see these accounts are all back down to $500. I withdrew my profits from my data accounts this last week. As always, we'll show you that on the FX books, but let's keep going through the data accounts. Just look at all the pairs, and then we'll get into some questions. NZD USD, we got nothing going on. USD CAD, we are an 8% floating profit and going. So USD CAD doing its thing as always. We'll take a look at that on the FX book here in a minute. That was CloudTrader 8. Nope, we'll skip that one. That has no GearBox on it. AUD CAD, 7% floating profit on the week. Euro NZD with 10% floating profit on the week. Euro NZD has, honestly, on this little account, crushed it. It is a more dangerous pair, but it has been performing pretty consistently when it does swing. Now, I know Euro NZD grabbed some stop losses a few months ago, and you know, that stuff happens, and we hit those stop losses too. Don't forget, we hit those stop losses too. Say it again, we hit them too. But it swung back, and it has crushed it. And we'll see that on the FX book in a minute. Let's see what's going on this one. This is CloudTrader 10. There's nothing on CloudTrader 10. We will go over here to administrate, and we're going to take a look at the 10K swing account, the developer 10K swing account. This is a public link, and we are up 3% on the week, and we are swinging in some trades right now. Wow, beautiful. Let's take a look at the FX books and talk about what's going on here. So first things first, let's join the convo. Also, if you haven't, make sure you're watching this in the highest quality. You can go down here and click 1080p, and all of a sudden things will get really clear for you. So make sure you're watching in 1080p if you are streaming and watching what we're doing. That way it should look like this, and you should kind of be able to see what we're doing. So yeah, make sure you are watching in 1080p. And we're going to go over here to my FX book, and we're going to refresh this one as it has made more profit today. And really important to note, I love showing this stuff, okay? Look at this. This account has taken losses. It went through the Ukraine war. It's gone through some crazy volatility, but it's won 78% of trades still. It took its stop losses like a champ, which, by the way, we're on CHF JPY, which we don't trade anymore. All these stop losses, 90% of them are CHF JPY. So, you know, we just don't, we're not touching those JPY pairs anymore. JPY pairs are terrorists for reversal strategies. This account is only in 1 in 300 leverage, and this account has now again hit its same top peak equity before CHF JPY took it on a ride. We had reached a peak before here, and we reached again here. So continuing to see that this thing is making new peaks. We did 12% here in May so far. We lost 9% last month. We lost 2% before that. In 2021, we had 6. We had some negative months going in the end. But let's look historically and remember what GearBox has done. And you know, it's only natural that, you know, twice a year you might have a losing month. Well, we started off 2020 with 2 losing months. Does that mean the rest of 2020 is going to be ballpark home runs? Historically, that's what data has suggested so far. But again, you know, past performance is not indicative of future results. But again, here it is, GearBox crushing it. Now let's go look at the one pair accounts. I'm going to have to take a nice login here. If it would like to take my fingerprint, doesn't want to take
accessibility shortcuts.
Nope, not those. Ignore that. I guess we're gonna be typing passwords today. Alrighty. And we're gonna come over here to the one par data. And what we can see is USD CAD has taken absolute gain. Alright, GBP AUD is still up total gain, not absolute. The difference between absolute and total depends on money deposited and withdrawn versus the initial balance, right? But we see that JPY pairs are all terrorists. We have eliminated them. CHF pairs you shouldn't really use much either. They're not that profitable anyways. They're on our lowest of the profit scale. But again, they can produce profit. CAD CHF is the most profitable of the CHF pairs. And other than that, I mean, we know what pairs historically perform and make money, so we're going to skip them besides the worst performers. But again, you can see that the data accounts are doing what they do best, and collecting. As well, we can go over here, and this is a larger account that is being ran on GearBox, 849,000 Australian dollar to be exact. We can see that it is up 8.6%. Has it had an 18% drawdown? Yes, through the last month, you know, things have been a little crazy, but it's taken it like a champ and started to swing and continue to make profit through those moves as well. It even took some stop losses early on and has made them back and more. So it took some stop loss in the beginning of the month and already made it back. So that's awesome and cool to see. So really just being able to see, you know, the trades, taking 34 trades, won 82% of them. And this is us trading on larger capital, just to show you it is balls. There's the deposits. Here is some profit. Again, wanting to show people that this is real. This is an institutional level strategy. We manage money with it. But now that we're back, that's about how the markets looked over the last few weeks into the last week, and really a lot of trades have been starting to swing. People have been starting to make some money. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the upcoming week ahead. So it is the 8th, no, May 27th now. May 27th. So we're going to go to 28th to the 4th. Apply. And wow. Wowie. We don't see a red folder until Tuesday night, AUD. Wednesday, we got some Canadian and USD red folders, job openings, manufacturings, and bank rate statements, overnight rates. Okay. USD, ADP, non-employment change, and USD average earnings. And it is NFP week. And what happens during NFP week? We get a little volatility sometimes. Also, it's a Treasury currency report, which is tentative. That could be big for US dollars right there. With NFP too in the same week, as well as job openings. I would tell you the majors are going to be volatile this week based on that information. The other pairs not so much worried about, but definitely US dollar has a lot of big red folder news this week. So I would be on the more conservative side, most likely, with USD pairs in the majors. Even though they're liquid, they can move. So I'd be very conservative, maybe 0.01 per 2K to 3K if you're extra conservative. And, if you're like super conservative, like 0.01 per 5K for those super conservative people. Personally, I'm going to continue to run my data accounts the exact way I do. But for retail customers, I always need to advise to be on the conservative side if I ever see a lot of red folder news in one area or category. And US dollar definitely has some this week on some bigger ones. So definitely going to look to be conservative there. As for, we have some questions real quick before we end on the progression of GearBox enhancements and Pro release. Let me tell you, a lot of new enhancements are going to come to GearBox way before Pro is released. But these settings are worked on. There are new enhancements that are being coded and updated for testing. And we are having brand new beta testers start this week, beta testing many of the new GearBox features to make sure that nothing else breaks, right? Because sometimes you add a new feature and an old feature stops working. So we really diligently test each new feature one by one to make sure it's stable before we continue to add new features into the code. Because anytime you add one new thing, if you add a few things together and there's a bunch of bugs, you're not going to know which one's throwing the bug. So we are very strict in our testing protocol, and we look forward to getting new versions of GearBox and GearBox Pro out as soon as possible. But just know they are in the works, and new beta testers this week are going to begin to help in the development phase of testing these things for us so that we can speed up our development. So very exciting news ahead, and I can't wait to get it out myself, and I can't wait to use these additions that are being made to GearBox myself on my own account. So lots of exciting things ahead. But with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, as you always do every Friday. And for those of you who tuned in live, God bless every single one of you, and thank you for being here. And for those of you watching the recordings, I know it's a Friday. You maybe had other things going on at 11 a.m. Eastern, but it's always great to get on the calls live if you can, so you can ask me questions.
There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading Forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.